I'm wearing my Mesa Boogie hat.
Yeah, it's
You
nice.
like it?
I'm
You like
still
it?
waiting for my Mesa Boogie Fillmore by Gibson, or my or my new Gibson amplifier, depending on how you
It's
look
just
at
going to
it.
be a Gibson amplifier, face it. It's just going to be a
I
Gibson
didn't think I was
amplifier.
going to be buying any Gibson stuff this year, but apparently,
Yeah, there you
I
go.
mean, they thought otherwise.
May
So
as well get yourself a freaking Les Paul and let's rock.
actually, I was kind of thinking about it. Like, it's on my short because I need another dual humbucker guitar. So as much as
Yep.
I like, there's a lot of dual humbucker guitars out there. I kind of like. I've never owned a Les Paul. Like, I have a copy,
Yep.
if you can call it that. Um,
Oh
but
yeah, that's
if the
right.
right deal crossed my path and it was the right guitar, then maybe. Um, I had two new gear days. One of them is kind of funny, and I'll share that one first. So I got this, which is rosin, okay, from D'Addario, which is hilarious to me that D'Addario makes rosin for violin bows, for
Oh, that's
violins,
hilarious.
for both instruments. My youngest daughter plays violin, and she had lost her rosin that they gave her with her violin. It's just, we're on COVID. I'm like, yeah, I'll just order it. Don't worry about it. I mean, we already use my guitar tuners to tune your violin and everything else. Like, why not? So I bought um, I bought rosin from D'Addario, and there's a logic to this. This is actually my new gear day too because it came with the player's reward points. So I took the reward
Oh
points
yeah.
for her and put them in my account, and she got rosin. But here's the kicker, right? So this is how bad the public school like rental instruments are getting. The rosin they gave her, and I watched her rosin her bow for a good 10, 15 minutes, and then she went to play, and there was no change. We put this rosin on that bow, and the second she touched the string to the instrument, like it just
String
came alive. It was loud. We were like, "Huh?" I just
Yeah.
kind of, and my wife used to play violin, so
I bet you they're.
even she was like, "What?"
I bet you they're
Um,
using some cheap replacement like beeswax or some like that.
yeah, it's not real rosin, right? Like, and I don't know what rosin's made of. This is probably some sort of
Yeah,
synthetic
exactly.
product, but you can see. I mean, this was totally. Hers was like this white. It looked like a bar of soap. This is what I expect to see. So
Yeah.
that's cool. If you don't know anything about stringed instruments, but the problem is, so I put this rosin on her violin with her. Like we did it together because I wanted to learn how to rosin the bow, right? And as we're doing it together, I realized I was getting rosin all over my fingers. I went to play my acoustic guitar, and all of a sudden, like my fingers were sticking to the
Yeah.
strings. I was like, "What the hell? Like I can't do
Yep.
this shit."
Yep.
So I immediately went and like scrubbed my hands and wiped down my guitar because I was like, "This is just ridiculous."
Do,
Um, yeah.
yeah, I was gonna say, have you ever touched the bow when rosin is freshly applied to it?
Oh yeah. I mean that's what yeah, that's what I experienced. I mean, if you've never done that, it's not what you think. You think, oh well, rosin will be like it'll be smooth, it'll be like wax. No, it is not meant to do that at all. It's actually meant to pick up the string and like touch
And
against
pull
it
it,
and cause friction because that's what
right?
creates the sound.
And that's what
Um,
rips the bow apart is the
right.
rosin. So the mechanics of it is that the rosin, like you said, it pulls the string, but the string pulls back, and the bow is actually weaker than the string, and it would be as
Yeah,
if you were playing with a piece of paper or something that was destructive, and every time you played, it was torn apart. That's why our guitar strings. That's why we get, or I mean, our guitar
yeah,
picks. They,
eventually the friction gets to them and they break and all that.
yeah,
But with rosin, I think the difference is this is actually supposed to protect your springs from getting ripped to shreds.
right,
Because it takes the abuse more than the strings do. Because
yep.
like I know her bow is not, there's no damage to it. She's had it for over a year now, and I'm really kind of surprised because she's been playing with basically either very little rosin, crap rosin, or basically no rosin when she lost it. So, but
Yeah.
anyway, that was the silly new gear day. Then I last week or the week before, I had enough reward points on my credit card from the holiday season, and this is the one that I've been real responsible with. It's totally paid off all the time.
Mhm.
I said I'm gonna get myself a wah pedal because I
Oh
don't have
yeah,
one right
yeah.
now. So I bought an RMC picture wah, which is the RMC 4 for those of you playing along at home. And I gotta say, I am floored with how damn good this thing is, sound wise. I've never had a wah that sounded this good. It's every bit as like the dirty, like smoky sounds like Robin Trower and Jimi Hendrix and those kind of guys. But the only comment I can have about this wah pedal that I think is kind of funny, because the tolerances are so tight in how he assembles them. He being Jeffrey Tees, who I now have a picture of him on the bottom of my wah pedal, which is strange. Jeffrey Tees, well, it's a picture wah, right? So the original ones had Clyde McCoy on the bottom, so he doesn't have that, so he put himself, which he's like this hippie in the picture, like it's just hilarious. But the wah itself, like, because the tolerances are so tight, the gear that so like it's got the tongue that fits into the gear. That is so tight that I can feel the individual rungs of the gear rubbing against the tongue as it goes in and out. Like, it's like gritty. It feels kind of gritty, and it's okay. It showed up. It was a little loose. All adjustments I can make. It's not a big deal in terms of that, and I think that's just a player preferencing. I think some people like them loose. It was holding in place. But it was like effortless for me to move my foot on it, and I kind of don't like that because it's harder to find the sweet spot if you want to leave it on. But I generally don't leave it on. The other thing is I want to adjust the height of the switch in the front, because right now it's pretty easy to turn it on and off. I like them to be a little bit harder. I like to really lean on them. But I mean, everything else about the pedal is just totally clean. Actually, when you see a picture of them, you go, it looks like just like a Dunlop housing. They are not a Dunlop housing. They have some other sort of powder coat on there. That's like way more textured, and I wouldn't be surprised if they're not getting their housings from the same people that are making the Mission Engineering expression pedals. Shoulder, one
those
of
are
guys.
nice.
So,
do you still have your Mission Engineering?
I have the spring-loaded one. I sold the other one, and I kept the spring-loaded one because at some point in my playing career, that's going to be useful to me.
Yeah, you'll find something that needs an expression switch or
someday. I mean, actually, I got stuff on my board right now.
I was gonna say
my expression pedal, but there's no reason for me to really bust it out at this point, so I'm not that worried about it. But I know that the spring loaded ones are harder to come by. Actually, kind of, so I halfway thought about, I wonder if I can put that RMC in there, because I could probably pull the guts and rehouse it and have the spring. Not gonna do that, but the cool part about the RMC pedal. So, like, if you ever experienced having a fuzz face and a wah pedal at the same time, especially one that's like got either a bad buffer or one that has no buffer, they squeal like a pig, and it's sort of like a known thing. They squeal. This has the proprietary circuit from Fox Rocks in it that is supposed to be like the ultimate buffer for fixing that problem. And I have to admit, I was skeptical that it would make my fuzz pedal sound good, but I kind of think that it actually makes my fuzz pedal sound better with it all.
Wow, that's cool.
Than not having any buffer whatsoever in front of it, which is pretty damn impressive. But that said, if you're looking for a wah pedal, I mean, I know RMC is like not the flavor of the month right now. There's some other small builders that are starting to pick up steam with that kind of stuff. Wah, for whatever reason, today is not super popular. I would seriously give consideration to trying to get a used RMC. And they've got like 11 or 12 different models. So just find the one that works for you, because there's a bunch of, and they're not horribly expensive. I know people are like, oh, $200 for a wah pedal is really expensive. Compared to what? Compared to what? A GCB Q95 or a 595Q?
Yeah, the quote-unquote basic bitch crybaby. Yeah, the
it's
one
like
that's
$100. Yeah, the one that's like $50. It's not even $50 anymore. They're what? They're $75 or $100 now.
Yeah, they're $100 now. Even on sale, they're just under. They're like 80. But the fact is that any decent one, mine was a closeout, because they were closing out this version.
What do you got? A 595Q? Oh, you get the slash. That's right.
Yeah, and these were 200. And
that's
with
what I'm saying.
Fuzz, they had a package with the fuzz. With the fuzz, it was $3 and change. It was $350. With the slash fuzz. So I got this one because I think it was orphaned. I think the fuzz went bad, so they had to sell the wah. Somebody told me, because this is the one that's supposed to go in that package. Anyway, long story short, I got it for a great deal. I got it for $125. But this thing normally goes for over $200. So I'm fine with it. I like it, so it's not um, anything that I have a problem with. And I do have a Dunlop expression pedal, like what you're talking about. That was the only time I ever took a wah type pedal apart to see what was inside. I mean, I knew. I mean, you have to be a total moron not to figure out that there's a little gear in there that's going, that's
Yeah.
reading the little
Literally, the
treadle.
pot just has a gear stuck on the end of it. That's
Yep,
basically
that's
all it
it.
is.
That's a pot with a
It's
gear on it. And you
yeah,
can adjust most of them, the good ones, and the other one I have, which is the $175 version of the Dunlop expression pedal, which is a really nice one. Um, it's got all kinds of adjustments. I can adjust the treadle, the maximum height, the maximum depth, the how
yeah,
much tension I get, so on and so forth. But I can tell you this, um, that thing needs to be adjusted a lot. So I don't use it much.
yeah.
It's a pain in the rump. Um, so yeah, you've probably got a better. But this wah is knock on wood. This thing's incredible. You know.
Yeah, they're okay. I mean, I've played that one. Actually, of the Dunlop Wahs I played,
Mhm.
I like the Cantrell. I owned one for a
Yeah,
while.
the Cantrell's a
Um,
nice one.
the Cantrell was nice, and of course now they've got a new versions, which I don't know if there's
Yep.
anything different with it. But you know the one that killed me, the one that's super good and like it totally makes sense. You should be smart enough to realize it's going to make sense. It's the Kirk Hammett one.
Oh
The one with
yeah,
the skeleton on the
that
bottom of
one
it
is
is freaking
great.
awesome.
That thing is great.
Yeah,
Um,
and I just laughed when I tried it because I'm like, dude, can I gig a Kirk Hammett wah? Like, I just thinking to myself, like, can I really bring
yeah,
myself to do this?
I would ask,
Um,
can I get one without the freaking foot, the
yeah,
skeleton
the
foot on the cradle? Because
skeleton
I don't need
foot.
that thing glowing in the dark. Just
They're $169.
yeah,
The slash wah is, and then
yeah.
that one is 159.
No,
But
yeah,
the point, but
the slash wah they sell separately. That's the one they sell separately. It's 169. That's the
how
one
much
that is different.
how much would you think that an RMC wah is in different in opposition to say this?
Yeah, like
Like these are
250.
160 to $200, right?
They're boutique. What 250, 225?
Yeah, they're 235.
See,
That's
yeah,
nothing.
that's
It's
great.
peanuts. It's
No,
extra $50.
think about it. What's the Bonamassa one go for? That's the
The
only other one I liked that I would. Oh, the Cantrell I like too.
Do you know
Um,
why? Do you know why they stopped making the Cantrell and the copper? Because the new
no,
Joe Bonamassa one has
is in
copper.
copper.
Yes.
Yep.
It's $230.
Yeah. It was $230. I was eyeing that one, and then this one came up for sale at 125. I took it home and tried it out, and I was like, you know what? For what I do, and the treadle is steady. I can rock it, leave it. It doesn't float on me. You can tell a shitty wah, guys, because when you take home one of the cheaper ones, after a little bit of this, you'll set the treadle up like this because you want that cock wah feel, and it goes like this,
Yeah.
just
If
slowly.
if they're not tight, you
Yeah.
can always adjust them because it's always just a bolt or whatever to do it. But
Yeah, but the problem is the more
actually
you have to
I
tighten that
lied.
down. Yeah, go ahead.
The Joe Bonamassa wah is not $250. They are right now because they're completely sold out everywhere. They're
Yeah.
$169.
Yeah, that's
So
what I
it's
figured.
just the same price as all
170
their
bucks.
other.
Yeah, all the other ones that are special edition. So, uh, let's talk about. Well, first, I'd like to tell everybody that when I went live, there was static. David and I fixed that before we got started. It was a bitrate error in my software that for some reason was moved to 44.1 and it was supposed to be higher than that.
Well,
It,
it was
it
moved to
might not have to be
44.1 for
this high.
recording, but for whatever reason, Discord won't allow you to use 44.1, which is like the standard for every device on the planet.
Now, just
Um,
recently, Discord and Facebook went through updates.
yeah, I know,
And I
but
know I got a Windows update a few days ago.
but here's the problem, Jim.
And it
I
wouldn't be the first
have
time they changed my drivers on me.
I have a PreSonus interface right here, and my bit rate right now
44.1.
44.1.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure. But if you did you hit a Windows update a few days ago?
Yeah,
Oh, you did? So maybe it
yeah,
wasn't that.
yeah. I
But
don't
I do
wait
know that
until
the
stuff.
Facebook ones, it's weird because they don't roll them out everywhere all the same time. That is a weird
Yeah,
thing that
they
they
do some
do.
sort of deployed
Yep.
thing, and I think they look for prioritized people who use their service more. I'm sure I am low on their shit list right now because I am not
I'm
using
about to be
Facebook much
lower.
at all. That said,
These are the only people, you guys right here that are listening and watching. You are the only
basically,
people. Oh, the keto thing's still going on. Still losing weight. Just letting everybody know. In case you're wondering, you can kind of see it right now. My neck is. I had a turkey neck. I literally had the turkey neck. It's gone. I can finally shave my beard and not look like type thing.
I'm probably losing weight, but I'm actually growing it. So
Yeah.
it's like Samson over here.
I'm trying. It's funny because my hair grows so slowly. This beard is November. No shave November. I
This
shaved it
November.
off somewhere in the beginning of November.
I have not shaved since November. Can you tell? There's nothing here.
Yeah, well, you don't. You're like me. See this right here. This is not because I shave it. I got a buddy of mine. His beard grows right up to here. I
Yeah.
get literally nothing happens.
Oh, I mean, there's
So
stuff
I mean,
growing, but it's just not much.
I clean it right here, to make it even. But literally, no hair grows on my. For some reason, no hair
This is
grows on my cheeks.
this is the Hair Growth for Men
And
podcast.
and I
Um,
get nothing. There's like a line right here. You can see it physically. Look
yeah.
right there.
I,
Nothing grows beyond that line. I don't even have chest hair. Look at that. I just don't have chest hair. I don't have. I barely have any arm hair. I mean, it's like I'm like a hairless freak of nature. I
yeah.
have both my calves, my legs, my calves. Neither one has hair on them. I don't
I
know
thought your
why.
calves were in your back.
I grew up shoveling shit underneath the calves. So let's talk. Let's talk about the ugly monsters in the room, shall we? We need to talk about this. So I've got a whole set of bullet points for these great companies who have come out with such wonderful products. We've just got to talk about.
I haven't even been paying attention to the NAMM launches. I did
do.
look at some of the Fender
do.
stuff.
All right, so let's talk.
I did look at the PRS stuff. I mean,
Let's talk about the elephant in the room with Fender first. Um, well, you know what? PRS first. You know why? Because that's what it's.
So
PRS is going to be quick. Here's
the
my
big
thing.
surprise from PRS is the Mark Letary signature, right?
The Mark
Like,
Letary signature.
Because he was supposed to be a Fender guy, right? And
right.
he ended up over there. Why? Well,
because they
we all
built
know
him.
why.
Yeah. Paul Reed Smith built him a signature guitar that looks exactly like his Fender, and just like John Mayer, here you go. We'll build it exactly to your specs, except we're going to put our headstock on it.
It's a Silver Sky, no pick guard.
Yep. And a humbucker.
And humbucker single. Honestly, like, I should be all over this guitar.
Yeah.
But
well,
the reality is...
What's the radius?
The reality is this. I don't like the neck heel. Like,
Okay.
I don't care that you... I'm fine with the aesthetics of this guitar.
Yep.
You had a CE that you could have used to base this on, Mark, and that has no neck heel. Now, maybe the neck heel is some critical thing to the way that you play, and that is the only way I can think of. I don't question an artist's choices, but for me, I'm like, if it was only based on the CE, like, this would be the guitar that I would be after right now, because it's maple on maple. I believe they're doing another version of it too, but they showed some other stuff too. There's a Silver Sky Limited in purple. Looking to see what else is here. The new SC Custom 24s are showing up. There's this brilliant bright pink one. I go to their website. I'm not even looking at their website. I don't know why. Probably better to look there to see what's officially been announced. So the SC Custom 2408, which has additional switching functionality, and that's coming, which now has what they call the shallow violin curve.
Yep.
Or carve, which that was kind of the big thing that we've been hearing for a while. We were not allowed to talk about was that violin carve.
That violin carve. And
instead
now we
of
can talk
the bevel,
about it. Yep.
Instead of the bevel, they're now doing a violin carve on the SEs.
Yeah, I got to be honest with you. I saw the SE with the violin carve. Paul showed it off. I was like, okay, here's the elephant in the room. I've got it up on my screen. You can't see it, but The Silver Sky, Lunar Ice. Give me a freaking break. People were
Yeah,
freaking out on that pod or show,
the live
live
stream.
show that live stream that Paul did. This is on everybody's screen right now. They can see it if you're watching the show. Um, it's coming out in Lunar Ice. He
Big deal.
spent more time. Well, I guess Letary and him got equal time, but he spent so much time with Zach, or I mean, with John Mayer, and I'm like, it's all for the girl. All these girls, you saw in the chat. Oh my god, I love you. I want to have your babies. I mean, literally, things that went by in the chat, which I thought were hilarious. But
Well,
so
he's the only guitar player that could pull it off today, so I'll give him that.
yeah, yeah. But the Lunar Ice, they're going to do 1,000 of them. Now they did the last one in 500, so they were like, oh, people got pissed off, so we're going to do 1,000. 1,000 is not a run. Do a run.
That's not really a limited run, guys.
Look, if this is my message. I've recorded a thing which I'm actually going to put up on the channel tonight.
Every dealer gets 3.
Yeah, every dealer might get one. Do you know how many PRS dealers there are? I mean,
Are there really that many PRS dealers though? Well, yeah, if you consider Guitar Center.
If you look at Guitar Center and Sweetwater, now,
Yeah, but I wasn't thinking about the big dealers.
yeah.
Yeah.
So if you take
You're
Guitar
right.
Center, right, and you try to put 3 in every Guitar Center, you'd need 900.
Yeah, yeah.
So
I
there are
mean,
Guitar Centers and it won't get any.
I like I like the concept behind the Silver Sky. I just think that there are better guitars that they could be doing right now that with that kind of concept.
Yep.
If they're really going to double down and they're going to start making Strat copies, because that's what it looks like is going on here. Right? They got the Silver Sky now. They got the Fiore,
Yep.
which, by the way, the red Fiore.
I can tell you
That's
this.
the
yeah.
Mark. That, by the way, that is the Mark Letary signature. That damn guitar looks great in red.
Yes, it does.
And I actually don't mind black on this one because it's not straight black. It's black iris.
There are 2 interesting things though. Number 1, the custom 22 is gone.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
the custom
Is it
22,
gone across the is it going completely across the
well,
line?
I don't know about in the SE line, but I do know the custom 22 is gone in the American line. So I want to talk about this one for a second, and that's the Studio. Now, if you're a Gibson guy, you're thinking, oh, the Studio, it's probably less expensive. This thing is $4,000.
This is supposed to be the studio workhorse.
Right.
Not the studio is in the cheaper version you don't take on stage. You know, like
this is not the it's the same as the Les Paul, but it's got less, it doesn't have binding, No, the Studio is this is the workhorse. It's got everything and every pickup combination. It's everything you could ever want in a guitar. And I got to be honest with you, it's beautiful. It has some great sounds, but $4,000. Come on, Paul.
Dude, like, all right. So let's talk. PRS right now is stupid expensive. If you haven't been paying attention, I think we talked about it on the show.
We have.
That a standard a core 24, like so what do they call it, like a custom 24, I believe is pushing 3,500 right now. That's nuts.
Now the other thing
I'm sorry, but you can't even touch the artist package for that much money.
Yeah, I know, and that's just it though. So the other thing they did for the SE line, which by the way, I think I want to stick with the SE line right now. That's my SE.
I understand. I mean,
the custom 24 not only got a violin carve. This is the more important thing to me. The more interesting thing to me, I should say, is the fact that they got the Paul's guitar pickup configurations. So they got the individual split versus splitting everything. Which, if you're a split person, which I'm not.
Well, you're talking about the 2408, right? Which has the split
the 2408.
Because not the whole line is getting
not the right. The 2408. I'm sorry, the custom 2408 is getting like a Paul's guitar look. I think custom 2408 is one of the more exciting things. Of course, the violin carve on the 24 looks pretty, but they
did you see what color combo they brought back? The one that like sold out in the anniversary. We're like, nah, we'll never see that again.
Yep.
They brought it back.
Yep.
So, and it's only $829.
I know.
I mean, I'm looking at it right now in Sweetwater and going, ugh.
I know,
I mean,
I
it's
know. I'm in my
hard
year of no
because
gear. We'll talk about something that almost had me pulling a trigger, and I was like, "Oh, you can't put money down.
yeah,
You're on your
yeah.
year of no gear. Hopefully, they'll be there in January of next year, but it's not going to come from PRS. I'll tell you what it is here in a minute. But another exciting thing from PRS is the Zach Myers. I think that this is great.
The new
The
Zach
Zach
Myers I knew
Myers
about as well.
SE. We knew that
Yeah,
was coming, but it's here, um, and it looks beautiful. It's in
I haven't looked at
denim.
it yet.
It's just a gorgeous guitar.
Oh, I haven't
And
seen
the
the
new bass, the Kingfisher bass, they showed that off. It looks incredible. Fine, because PRS has been doing basses all along, but
Yeah, I was gonna say
nothing's
I didn't think that was like a super new thing, but
yeah,
yeah,
nothing's really been exciting. This new Kingfisher, they finally figured out bass. But
yeah.
here's something that nobody needs: a tuner from frickin' PRS.
Oh, I saw
So
that.
for
I was like, "What the
fanboys,
hell is this for?"
for
It's
fanboys
case
everywhere.
candy.
What's that?
It's case candy, Jim. That's
Yeah,
what that is. That is for the dealer to say, "Buy a PRS, I'll throw in a tuner."
yeah, because it's $30. It's no different from
Any other $30
any other
clip-on tuner.
$30 tuner. It's just a snark with a bird in the middle, and it's overly big. To me, the screen, because it has to have the bird in the middle, is overly big. But I have
I
to
mean,
admit that the bird lighting up to say you're in tune is kind of cool. If you're a PRS fan, it's something for you.
that's what it's
I
for.
I personally, I'm sure they're going to be selling it 19.99 in a year and a half, so I'm waiting on that one.
But
Let's talk.
I actually, this might be the year I get an SE uh,
Yeah,
custom
yeah,
because I'm looking at him and I'm
that,
like, you know what? That's a perfect guitar for Nick to put pickups in.
yep,
And to be quite honest, like that color combo just does it for me.
yep. If
The
this
blue
thing
one,
didn't have the top on it, it does. Mine has a. You've seen it. It's got a brilliant top. Um, I would in a heartbeat go after that. But
I,
I would call my rep, say, look, I need to return this, and I
for
would
me,
get the new one.
for me, it largely depends on what the deals look like at Gearfest. Because honestly, I don't. Well, no, it doesn't because I have a dealer and I have a
Yeah,
good relationship with that dealer.
exactly.
So I got to remember, like, I have a PRS dealer that's like that
That's right.
takes care of all my amplification needs. So,
Yep.
um, I heard they, they're selling Gibsons over there now. Gibson amplifiers, anyway.
I heard they were
I don't,
selling Gibson amplifiers. So
um,
let's talk about the other
yeah,
folks.
the other big elephant in the room. Oh no, do we want to talk about more NAM products? No, more NAM products, as in like the
I'm
releases at this time of year.
I'm doing releases.
Okay, all
All
right,
right.
let's do
So Fender. Go to Fender, go to 2021 new releases. Here we
that.
go.
Yeah, I've seen some of that stuff.
They've got a lot of nobody has asked for this stuff coming up and collectors
Yeah,
only type shit. So let's go right over the 75th commemorative Stratocaster,
I watched these on
Telecaster,
Trogley the other day.
Jazz, and Precision.
Trogley took a look at these the other day, and
Yeah, so they put gold hardware on pretty
but
basic.
these are collectors' guitars. These are
Yeah,
not for you and I. These are
no.
for people that put them in the closet.
The next thing is now this is what I do like. Now, usually that's where you end, right? You got the $2,000 model. They went ahead and came out with
Ultralux now.
they
Oh
came out with
God,
the what? They
the
came out with the
Ultralux.
yeah. Well, wait, we're not that far yet. We're not
Oh,
that far yet because that's going to be my fire hole right there.
oh my
Um,
God. I'm already looking at the specs and crying.
I know you. Hold on to your horses, Mister. Okay, so 75th anniversary edition of the Strat, Tele, and Fender and Precision, also in what they call the Diamond Series, $850 with a gig bag and from Mexico, making it a little more affordable, making it playable. You still get the medallion, and you still get the fact
No,
that it's
you
a
don't get
75th.
medallion on the
Here's
Mexican version.
here's the oh that's right. Here's the thing that really kind of ticks me off though. So they're calling them 75th anniversary edition, and I was recording the thing which actually most people have seen already, but um and I was like um looking at these, and the gig bag thing, um and I thought to myself, $850. That's not a bad price. But I was like, oh, what did these come in the 1960s? And then I went, wait a minute. No, 75 years ago. And I checked my calculator to make sure. I was like, wait a minute,
Leo,
that's 1946. I went,
yeah, that's when he started.
that's when Fender started. So none of them have any 40s or 50s, by the way, stats. All of them have 60s pickups. And
Right.
half of these didn't come out until the 50s. We didn't have the Fender Precision until
Yeah.
late 40s, and we didn't have the Jazz or the Strat until late in the 50s. So the only thing we had in the 40s was the Tele, and
Yeah.
maybe I don't know what year the Precision came out. Was that
Show up in the 40s.
what's
I thought
that?
it came out like 1950.
What did?
The Telecaster.
It was 49, I thought.
Was it?
Check
It
it.
wasn't called the Telecaster in 49.
It was the
It was called
Broadcaster.
the Broadcaster.
Yeah, and then it was the No-Caster. I think in 51. I want to say it was the late 40s because they started off with amps, right? So all I'm saying
Yeah,
is
they did. They did, and that's why I was thinking like that's really what this is. So the Broadcaster was introduced in the fall of 1950, my friend.
okay, so
So
it was
none of
50.
their guitars were from the 40s. That was actually like, and at that time, it was just an amplifier company. They were making stuff for lap steels, and I think they
Yep.
may have made some lap steels too at that point.
Yeah, I think they were trying to go because Rickenbacker was the big. They had the frying pan, and they were the big lap steel company at the time. Was Rickenbacker, believe it or not? Okay,
Right,
so
and then,
that was the only thing was I was like, oh, these must be 60s. And I was like, wait a minute, 60s isn't. I was born in the 60s. That's not 75 years ago.
can I
Thinking
make
to
a
myself,
crazy revelation? Can I make a crazy revelation for people?
sure, sure.
Because like I don't think people give enough credit to knowing this, or just the fact that like it's kind of a hilarious thing. The only reason Fender actually makes guitars today was because Leo Fender felt that he needed something to sell his amplifiers.
Yeah, yeah. It's pretty
I
funny.
mean, that's really what it was. He didn't get into the instrument business because he was a radio repairman
Yep.
who was building amplifiers because it was a niche market that he could get into, and it wasn't hard to do. And then, and believe me, I godfather to Leo Fender, like I love the guy, but it's just funny that like, oh, I need this product, the Telecaster. The reason it's so simple and dirt cheap, and like just dirt simple design was because he was like, not because it was the assembly line concept, that was part of it because he had to lower the cost,
Yep.
but it was like, well, if I can make a groundswell that'll sell my other business, which is amplifiers, like
Yep.
I'll be in great shape. Because those amplifiers, those original amplifiers, even the Tweeds, they weren't made for electric guitar. They were made for lap steel. And the fact that they worked for electric guitar was incidental.
Yep.
Uh,
Well, it's like the
and
bassman. Hey, bass guitarist, try this out. No guitar players like it. So the next thing nobody asked for from Fender was a micro freaking Mustang. No one wanted the Mustang in like a thing this big for $100. Okay.
oh, yeah.
So it's one of those little plug-in things that you stick in your guitar amp and then you put your headphones into it and $100. All I know is Vox makes one for $50. Stick with the Vox. All right, so
No, this does more than the Vox one, but still, it's kind
look,
of a silly little add-on.
it-
It's a
there's-
lifestyle product.
yeah,
That's what it
there's
is.
only so much you're going to be able to do with one of
This
those.
is a lifestyle product.
That's why I say stick with the one that's simple. You plug it in, you turn it on, it works. Don't have all these expectations of it.
Right, right.
The next thing that okay, so the Lux. Let's talk about the freaking elephant in the room. So I bought a Ultra, right? So now they have the Ultralux.
Let's be real. You're not mad because you bought the Ultra.
No, I'm not. But here's the thing. So remember the hype because you and I sitting on I was in a different house at the time,
Yeah.
sitting there and they announced, ooh, something is coming that's going to change the way you play guitar. What's that?
You were in a different room,
Yeah.
not a different house. But yeah, we were
No,
like,
I was in a different house at that time when they made the announcement. I think it was 2018 when they made the announcement.
no.
2019.
They had already split production at that point, which you were in the other room when it happened. When they decided that they were gonna change their whole thing from like being American Professional Series to from being American Standard to, and all that to like these professional series.
What year was
And then
that?
they did. That was like 2019, man. It wasn't that
then
long
I
ago.
was in the other room. Okay, yep.
Switch 2019 was the announcement of the Ultra.
Yep.
Because they'd already switched for a while before the Ultra came out. You bought the Ultra right when it came out, and you were in the other room. Like that was not that long ago.
That's right. You're right. Okay, so and I'm not mad about the Ultra. That's not what I'm mad about. I'm not mad that Fender decided to do this. I'm not mad. So the Ultra comes out and it's like you're gonna change the way you play guitar, and it didn't do anything. I love my Ultra, but it didn't change the way I play guitar. I still use
guitar after the Ultra that was like supposed to be even higher end. I thought they made one that was like the Ultra, not the Ultralux, but it was like something like the Ultra Premier or something.
Nope.
Because there was another guitar in between where I was like, why are they redoing the Ultra already?
Yeah. The Elite was the one that they had in between, and then they went to the Ultra.
Right. Okay, so that's what it was.
Yeah. And all they did was make some minor changes. They rolled the fingerboard.
You have the one that in between, because we kind of lampooned the Elite. We were like, okay, big deal. It's just the Pro Series or whatever that they used to have.
Right. That's right. They had to replace the Deluxe Series because they sent the Deluxe Series to Mexico, so they had to replace that with the Performer. Or the Professional. It doesn't matter.
Yeah. None of that matters.
The standard is the Performer. The Deluxe was the Professional, and the Pro was became the Elite, which then became the Ultra. And all they did was put some different noiseless pickups in it, and the S1 switch did different things because nobody wanted what the Elite was doing with the S1 switch and blah blah blah. But anyway, so here comes the Lux, and what does the Lux get that the Ultra doesn't have? Number one reason.
I want to talk about the Strat. Let me talk about the Strat because I have some like what the hell stuff here.
Yeah, let me finish though, because there's some things that nobody wanted. Nobody wanted a freaking black headstock on a guitar that looks like that.
Hell. That is just sinfully ugly.
Just gross. Hey Fender, read the room. I like what you did with the minty Telecaster, but that makes sense to match the headstock. But you don't blacken a headstock on a freaking Sunburst. That doesn't make any sense.
It's not just the black. It's not just the black. Even the plasma red burst.
Yep.
Which is really just another burst, right?
Yep.
Has a freaking red headstock, and it looks atrocious.
It's disgusting. It's gross.
Even in the pictures, it doesn't match the finish on the body. Like, what the hell were they thinking? They would have been better off leaving it empty. Just leave it maple. Nobody's going to complain. We love maple necked guitars. That's why we buy them.
What they did was they went to the reddest part of the burst of the what do they call it, plasma red burst. They went to the reddest part of that burst and then made the headstock that. No, you go in between. Have you guys ever matched your socks with your pants?
Can I ask a question? Why the hell are you trying to paint the headstock on a burst? It's just dumb. Like, this is not something anyone does. This is like, let's try something new, and it looks horrible.
It looks it looks gross. It literally looks gross.
And then they put it on their top-end guitar.
Like, their highest-end guitar.
So honestly, this works. I love painted headstocks on guitars with a matching body.
Yep.
You can't match a burst body to the headstock. It just doesn't work.
And guess what? With the single, you can only get a maple fretboard. That's the only thing. Oh wait.
No.
Okay, you can get a two-tone Sunburst with the single, with again a black headstock. Okay, so let me say this one thing before you go, because I know you're gonna go at it. But here's the thing. So the one thing everybody thought Fender was gonna finally do with the freaking guitar, which was put stainless steel frets in. Now there's effectively a $300 upcharge to get stainless steel frets.
And you have to take the shitty headstock with it.
And you have to take their shitty headstock with it. If you don't like the shitty headstock, you can't have stainless steel frets. And this is the piece of advice I give to everybody who's thinking about buying the Deluxe if you have an Ultra. No.
Buy a warm-up to go with it.
Just Just go get your good. If you really want stainless steel frets, go get your trusted luthier. Put stainless steel frets in the one you've got. It's just as good. They changed nothing else that would make this
No, they did. They changed things that
better.
made it worse.
That's what I mean. They made it work. Keep going. Now you take
Okay.
over.
Ultra noiseless vintage pickups. All right, can we just talk about the oxymoron in the room?
Yeah.
Ultra noiseless and be vintage. Okay? That's not a thing. So and it's got the S1 switch on the knob. Who cares? Adds the neck pickup and switch 1 and position 2. I'll be honest with you. That's just an excuse. That would be on. That's just an excuse to sell S1 switches when your switch breaks. You have to go to Fender to get an S1 switch.
That's right.
The augmented D neck. I'm gonna save that one for last because that's just hilarious to me. Stainless steel frets, perfect. It is a 10 to 14 inch compound radius. Sounds like a good idea. And then it's got that heel that's like, this is sort of a carved heel. It's really not a carved heel. I'm sure it's better than a standard heel, but you can do better. There are better models available from other manufacturers who would do a better job with the heel. The locking tuning machines, absolutely no guitar sold today, in my opinion, should come with anything other than locking machines at this point. But of course, there is still your vintage people who think that for some reason those vintage tuners seem to sound better. They're nuts, but here's where things get absolutely insane, right? So this augmented D neck and the stainless steel frets. The reason the stainless steel frets are ridiculous on this guitar is because it's a maple neck with their satin finish. I'm sure it doesn't actually say what the neck finish is in the copy as I'm looking here, but okay. So if it's their satin finish, it's gonna stick, and you're gonna want to remove it, and you're gonna scratch up your stainless steel frets removing it. So I think that's kind of silly. If you're one of the guys that wants the stainless steel frets and that kind of playability, chances are you're probably sort of into that already. Like, I want to remove the finish. And so this neck, I know what their satin's like. I have a guitar with one of their satin finishes. It's not great, quite frankly. I don't think most major manufacturers' satin finishes are that great on the neck. There are some that are really good. Most are not. But the augmented D neck, when was the last time you played a Stratocaster with a D neck?
Exactly.
When, Jim? Can you remember? Because I own one that has a baseball bat, and it's not a D. It is a C. Most of your big neck strats are Vs. What the fuck are they doing? And you don't have to bleep that out. What the fuck are they doing with a D neck on a Strat? Like, this is not a Gibson. Are you marketing this to Gibson folks? Is that what this is? Our high-end Stratocaster goes toe-to-toe with the Les Paul Standard, and it also has a D neck. I mean, I know they consider that a U. They say that's a U. I just don't see a D being the preferred neck choice for any Stratocaster at this point. I mean, I'm sure there are some people that are like, my 70 Strat had a D or whatever, and they're like, I really like that. That's not your target market. That is not your target market for this guitar. You're looking for the people that want the Strat that can do anything. And I just look at this and I go, I'm stuck with ultra noiseless vintage pickups, and then all the features that you would want with a D neck and this ugly ass headstock. Like, what were they thinking? They basically took what should have been a slam dunk, and then they just trashed it.
Well,
like, okay, stainless steel frets, and we're gonna put it on a D neck with a painted headstock. It's ugly because it doesn't match the.
So the fact is that the neck profile, it's 12 to 14, right? This is a 12 to 14 compound radius, or 10 to 14. Yeah, it is. So they took the necks from these, okay, and they pulled the frets, put in stainless steel.
Yeah, they basically did the same thing with stainless steel frets and then painted headstock.
And the body is essentially exactly the same.
Now you know what will kick ass though?
No.
is the American Ultralux Telecaster, which is like a whole other story.
Yeah.
Right. So if you flip over to that thing, that makes
Yep.
sense, right? We got a transparent surf green finish with a transparent surf green headstock. Totally makes sense there. That's not dumb, right? That's one of the color combinations, and even the sunburst one doesn't look nearly as bad as the model Stratocaster picture they've been showing.
Because the Strat has a bigger headstock. It just
I think it's the size. I think you're
yeah.
right. I think it's also, I don't know. I think the Telecaster has enough black stuff on it, like in terms of the bridge pickup and the
Yep.
selector switch to
Yep.
tie it all together.
It doesn't right.
And
Again,
so
it comes to
it
like when you
works.
right, when you match your clothing. You don't want a whole lot of a color that sets it off. You want a color that's noticeable in two areas, like a certain shirt with a certain pair of pants. Oh, there's
I
blue stripes in that, so you can wear that or whatever.
On the Telecaster, I am absolutely thrilled that they bound it on the body only.
Yep.
Because I could have seen them going, we're going to make an Ultralux Telecaster and then we're going to bind the neck. And I just would shake my head and I go, you don't need to bind the neck. Put cream binding on the body and it's fine. It's a maple neck guitar.
Yep.
Even the 3-color sunburst model, not the 3-color sunburst, but the transparent surf green model looks appropriate for that. That, good looking guitar.
Yep.
Do they have? I know they have the belly cut, but do they have the forearm contour on these? Like that would be the deal breaker for me as a player, but for other people, that's probably not a big deal.
I don't think they put the forearm, only the belly cut.
Now, the augmented D neck is here. I think D necks have more of a place on a Telecaster than they do a Strat. I think there are probably a lot more Tele players that would appreciate a D neck than there would be Strat players. But I mean, it's not a U neck. It's not like they're saying, "Oh, we're putting a straight up Gibson contour on here."
Right.
But this is marketable to me. This doesn't. It's not a failure.
And
okay,
in the green,
this works, but it's a little expensive.
It makes sense in the green too. What are they calling it? Transparent surf green. That looks good.
Transparent surf, right?
Yep.
But they did some other guitars in the Lux line that I'm like, what the hell? American Lux Stratocaster Floyd Rose HSS.
Yeah.
What?
Yep.
Why does this thing even exist? I mean, I don't think there are many players today who are buying a $2,400 Fender wanting a Floyd Rose on it.
Yeah, you're paying a $100 upcharge for that Floyd Rose.
On the plus side, they appear to have got the colors better on the Floyd Rose models.
Well, again, they match the headstock. It's almost the headstock makes sense on this one.
Yeah, I mean, so you have all the extra hardware in the headstock, and I think it kind of looks better. The Mystic Black with the matching headstock that's what you would expect to see. It's a flat color with a headstock that matches, right?
Yep.
Silver Burst, because it's not wood grain, I think it works pretty well here. It's a matching black headstock to the outside burst, which works in this, and because it's got a black pick guard, it looks appropriate.
Yep.
I honestly think these are not going to sell though because of the bridge. Yeah. I mean, if I'm buying a $2,400 Strat, I want a Strat bridge on it.
Yeah, or a Tele bridge.
Maybe even a hardtail option.
They did the same thing with the Tele. They put a freaking Floyd Rose on it.
Yeah, I know. That's why I was getting there. How many players that play Telecasters want a Floyd?
John 5. I just ran out of players.
John 5 doesn't even play Telecasters with Floyds.
I know, but he might want one.
Maybe.
Okay,
but
what about that guy from Slipknot? Jim Root?
No.
It's the only one I can think of. I'm running out of Tele players. It's definitely not Brad Paisley.
It's funny because the Strat doesn't have pickup rings. This one does. The Telecaster version has pickup rings.
Why? I know why. I know why. Because of the way they mount the pickups.
Yeah, but the dumb part is, so the American Ultralux Telecaster Floyd Rose HH is only available in one color. They know this thing is going to.
That's right.
One
Yep.
color, black
One color.
with matching headstock.
That's right.
And you know what? I hate to say it, out of the entire lineup, this is the one that looks the best.
Yeah, it is. It's the nicest looking one. All
It's
right.
bound, right? Is it white binding? Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to talk about some of the other line though, because there's some other guitars that they did announce
But
that are probably
there's guitars that are exciting. So let's talk about the ones that are good. So Chrissy Hind, they came out with a
yeah.
Chrissy Hind model. I'm actually I actually had to hold myself back from pre-ordering this.
It
Okay,
looks cool.
this is gorgeous. Now here's what kills me. So it comes from Mexico, but before we say anything negative, before anybody says anything negative, it's a Mexican Strat or Tele with number one, a nitro finish. Nitro from
Yep.
Mexico. Number two, a Mexican Tele with locking tuners. Okay. It's got top shelf hardware all the way across. Number three, because it's nitro, the whole guitar is nitro. What we've got a real nitro finish and a real aging, because you can't just scratch nitro.
This is
You have to do it randomly.
you know this is road worn, right?
Road worn. That's what I mean.
It comes road worn.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Okay. I didn't know if you knew that it came road worn
Yeah.
from the factory.
So they're pre-cracking the finish, but
Yeah, they're doing
everyone's going to look different. It's not
hopefully.
going to be like that Paisley one where everyone looked exactly the same. But
Can I-
they
can I-
did that on purpose. That wasn't
Can I
that
tell-
wasn't a what do you call it model? Nitro.
Can I tell a story about this? So like,
But
I honestly, I'm totally fine with them putting out road worn guitars.
Yep.
But even their custom shop models, unless you buy a master built, they have wear patterns that are CNC controlled. Because somebody did an analysis. They took like 450 photos of Strats that were done by the custom shop and aged, and they could find like there was none that were identical, but they could find them where they're like this wear pattern and this wear pattern on these two different finishes are identical.
Yeah.
So somehow some of this process that they use, which is proprietary, they don't tell anybody how they do it.
yeah.
Is like computer controlled and they know it, and then they kind of roll the dice in terms of which programs go to which guitars.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of interesting because they'll say, "Oh, well, they're not going to be identical. This guitar is going to be put out in a large quantity. Some of these will be very similar."
John Cruz, you can bet John Cruz did the same thing to 50, 60 guitars. I mean, if he's doing one for, Star A, it's going to be different, or Rich Person B.
Yeah,
but if it's
doing it by hand is going to make it different. I mean, that's where but they were saying like literally like the checking is identical on these two guitars. So however they're doing it, it's like a machine did it.
Right,
and
right.
they were just alleging that the wear patterns were being done by machine, and that was like scandalous because they were like, "Oh," but it's like, guys, when you do this kind of work, this stuff's so meticulous. If you did all of this by hand, it would
take forever.
Like you'd never be able to buy one because they'd be $10,000 plus. All of them.
Yeah. What I love about this too, they put the cigarette. I am 100% sure that these will all look identical, but the mirror pickguard with the cigarette burn and the underneath the thing from where she would rest her fingers and they would have nicotine on her fingers. I think that was a cool touch added to it. I'm in on this one. The only downside to it is that the neck has a 7.25 inch radius, but if I use this as my rhythm cowboy chord guitar, I'd be fine with it.
I would like for them to do more of this road worn stuff that's more like artist related. So, like the Yngwie Malmsteen Play Loud Stratocaster. That was a guitar that had like an intense amount of road wear to it.
Yep.
And that's probably a poor example because I don't expect them to do Mexican scallop guitars. But if they were able to do some of that level of wear out of Mexico, I'd pay $900 for some of those.
Yeah.
Like,
well,
this or $1,000. This was $1,400. I mean, that's an appropriate price for that.
But I'll tell you, the other thing that makes it worth the $1,400, so it's got the knurled flat top, it's got the the 6 saddle through body telly instead of the freaking thing that you got to go through, the vintage actual vintage 50 style single coil telly pickup instead of a a vintage a vintage pickup that didn't exist in the 50s. And the other good cool thing about it, when you get down to the bottom, a synthetic bone, get down to the bottom, case or gig bag, deluxe hard shell case. So they're going all out on this one. This is a get this one guitar. I like this one. I am in, and if it's around in January, I'm getting one. There's no question about it because I'm already putting that kind of money aside.
So the Noventa line, which is a new line.
Wait. Before we jump to Noventa, so then they came out with a Jason Isabel, which is
Okay, I didn't know you were talking about that
kind
one.
of like the Chrissy Hind.
I didn't realize this one was aged. I'll be damned.
Yep, his is age too, and they're both very. You know what about the Isabel that kind of pissed me off? So you're pricing it at $1,500. They must have been giving him a lot of money on his guitar because it's really not that hardware wise. It's not that much bigger of a deal than Chrissy Hines, and yet $1,500. It's got to be the pickups. That's what I was about to say. $1,500. Yeah, $1,500 for this thing, and you get a gig bag.
Yeah,
Come on.
And they're licensing those pickups from Tim Shaw. Like that's them making them, but Tim Shaw designed them.
Yeah. So the Noventas. Let's talk about the Noventas for the P90 folks. The Noventas are an exciting thing. You've got one in the Telecaster, you've got two in the Stratocaster, you've got three in the Jazzmaster. Or Jaguar, sorry, Jaguar. No, it is a Jazzmaster. I kept thinking it was a Jaguar.
Noventas.
Yeah.
I honestly think this
didn't
need to exist.
I'm not excited about them because that's already an aftermarket mod. Because with the swimming pool routes that Stratocasters have had for years, you can go out and buy a P90 loaded pickguard for a Stratocaster.
The only one in this lineup that is even appealing to me at all is the Jazzmaster.
It's the Jazzmaster, yep.
And quite honestly, like I don't need the third pickup on a Jazzmaster. No. Just give me two P90s and call it a day. I'm looking to see what else is going on with this guitar that I didn't know about. It's 9.5-inch radius, 20mm medium jumbo, modern C, right neck shape.
Yep.
Adler body. They're not pulling any punches on that. It's Alder. The colors are okay. I honestly think that one's going to do well. But as for the other two in the line, by the way, you know what these guitars are competing with, right? These are meant to go head to head with the G&L designs.
Yeah, of course.
That have the MFD, the large size MFDs in them, the Doheny specifically. And we'll just give you a third P90. Well, let me tell you something. P90s and MFDs are two different things. They sound somewhat similar, but they're really different pickups. And quite frankly, the Doheny is a cooler guitar than this. But the Doheny is slightly more expensive than this too.
Yeah.
But the Stratocaster, P90 Strat, seriously,
that's
just
what I
buy
said.
a pickguard and throw P90s in it.
That's what I said. You can buy a P90 if you've got a Strat. Get yourself P90s and be done. I'm going to talk about why I'm going to buy an inexpensive Strat in a little bit, but anyway, or at least a one that I'm going to put together. But and I'm going to base it around a set of pickups rather than being around the Strat. So I want an ultra feel, but I want these pickups. But anyway, and I want to pay ultra money for the guitar when I want to pull the pickups and throw them in the garbage anyway. All right, so the thing about the Noventa series to remember is, number one, they're made in Mexico, and number two, they come with gig bags. For $1,150, they're coming with gig bags. They are bringing the made in Mexico prices up, folks. Bringing them up.
Yeah, basically what this is.
268 amps that I don't know if anybody really wanted, but there's a custom Pro Reverb and a custom Vibra champ.
Let me talk about the amps. So the custom Pro Reverb is sort of an amp that people have been asking for a really long time.
Okay.
That they never officially have said that they were going to do. So I'm kind of excited that they finally did one to sate those people. I'm not a big Pro Reverb guy. I've never really thought they were that great amps. I haven't played too many of them. I think I've played one in 20 years. Right. So I don't think they're super common. The 68 custom Vibra Champ Reverb, this is a living room amp. That's what this is for. This is for the guy who's got a real one, and maybe the real one doesn't work all the time, and so now he can get the 68 custom Vibra Champ to have in his house as his practice amp or maybe his living room amp. I honestly think this is a good move for them because this is a lifestyle product that isn't really a lifestyle product.
Right.
Personally, if I was going to buy one, I would actually buy an original one, about $1,000 right now for
Yep.
a '60s Vibrachamp, a '70s Vibrachamp. You want to get a '60s Vibrachamp, you're looking at about $1,500 to $2,000.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I've
For
actually
that
been
kind of
looking
money.
because I was like, yeah, I got all the amps I pretty much want. It'd be nice to have like something super portable.
You know,
Um,
that's the one thing about the Tone Masters that everybody says if they were $100 cheaper, they would be better off with them, but they're still priced too high. That's the
yeah,
that's the
yeah,
problem.
but you know what? I wonder how much of that's true.
I
Like,
don't
I
know.
wonder if they did drop the price, how many people would actually buy them?
Yeah.
Like, that's kind of where my thought
That's
process is there.
Yep,
Because
me too.
honestly, like going from the Kemper to back to real amps, and dude, I'm totally content right now. I'd love for my Fillmore to show up, but I'm totally content right now.
Hmm.
Um, and I'm kind of thinking like I don't know that I would be content if I had a Tone Master.
Yeah.
I like that question. Not that I would or wouldn't, but the fact that there's any doubt in my mind
Yep.
is definitely going through people's minds on those amplifiers, which is why I've kind of wondered. Like, I've heard several people say exactly what you just said. They're $100 or $150 too much. I think I've said that, and to be honest with you, even if they were $150 cheaper, I don't know if I'd buy one because I still have that moment of doubt where it's like, but I can get a '68 custom Vibrochamp Reverb for $750, which is all tube, and I know that I'm going to be happy with that to an extent because it's not a gigging amp. So if it breaks down, I really don't give a shit because I'll just take it and get it fixed, and I can wait for it to come back. Um, that's that honestly that, and I'll be realistic with our listeners. This is the reason I don't own Fenders right now because I have heard too many horror stories about Fender problems. Now, I'm not
Yeah,
just
there's
talking about
always.
HRDs, but specifically even the stuff all the way up to the reissue lines, like the 65 DRs and all those different amps that they produce in the 65 reissue line. They get fixed a lot,
Yep.
which leads me to believe that there's something wrong with the design of those boards. And there's probably, if you take it to the right tech, you can probably fix it all up. You'll never have problems ever again. And then I think some of it has to do with the fact that maybe the board is run like a vintage spec, but the tubes they suck, and so they don't really run right. The other thing is, if you've ever played a real one, the reissues really don't sound that great. They're not. I mean, they're harsh. They have a lot going on between 2.5 and 5K that the real ones don't. So that's why I bought a Fillmore instead.
Well, that's why
Um,
I've got a Tone Master. But anyway, so
yeah, well, I mean,
yeah,
that's a classic example. They sound different than the reissues
that's right.
because they are based on the original copies the original models that Fender still has in storage,
Right.
and probably some that they bought from players over the years
Oh,
as
I'm sure.
well.
I'm sure.
Uh,
Or borrowed from people like Joe Bonamassa and stuff like that.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So
So yeah,
yeah, let's
take it
move
away.
on to the contemporary. I got to tell you, the Squire line is exciting, and the contemporary Squire line they've got coming out, which is the contemporary Squire Stratocasters. Um, there's three of them. Two of them are really cool. Um, I'm thinking the HH, yeah. So they did an HH, big deal. Um, the Telly is cool, and the is that a Jaguar? That's where I saw the Jaguar. I knew there was a Jaguar in here somewhere. Uh, and the Jaguar is cool. So let's start out with what they did. So they took the middle pickup for the Stratocaster, and they brought it down so that it sits right next to the bridge pickup. So it's not really a humbucker, but oh, your sound went out.
These have got some
Yeah,
wild features on.
yeah. So, bless you. Um, I just want to say that they've got these have got a cool bridge. They've got the two knob controls. They've got the '70s headstock, which I know you're not a fan of because it's the big headstock.
I don't actually. I'm not against the big headstock. I think on the right guitars, it's cool.
Okay.
What's the
Um, and They've got a nicer. I don't know if you noticed that the neck profile, but the neck profile,
Roasted maple.
yeah,
I mean, that's the
roasted.
big, like, that's the thing you should be pointing out
I I,
is,
I was getting to the neck.
yeah, that, I mean,
Roasted
these,
maple neck, 12-inch modern C or 12-inch C shape, roasted maple, right there.
I
That
ask a question.
is super exciting when it comes to
Why
the
are
Squire.
why are they no they come when it comes to Fender, they don't do roasted maple, right? Like across the rest of the lineup, they don't have anything roasted maple right now.
Nope. But look at that.
Charvel, who's their subsidiary, has roasted maple. They
Yep.
don't, which leads me to believe I don't want to buy any guitars from Fender right now because I think we're about to get roasted maple in other configurations throughout the line.
Yep.
Now that said,
Well,
looking
the
at this
Chrissy Hynde
guitar,
won't get roasted maple. I'm not worried about that. But yeah, the this guitar, these guitars, the contemporary. If you're looking, it's not my thing, but if you're looking for and that telly in the white
I
is
think that Telly's gross, but that's me.
I like it. I
Uh,
like it in the white, the pearl white. The roasted maple neck really sets it off, and having the hot rail type thing in the bridge,
yeah,
and
the real pick.
yeah, and the volcanic or something there. It's like the atomic rail or something like that. These
It's just
SQR
an atomic.
pickups. What's that?
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
just their normal atomic humbucker in a rail format. It's the
yeah.
same formula.
Here's
All
something
right,
else
let me
they
give you my.
did for the Squire line that they've added. Let's look at what they've done. Roasted maple, modern neck. They've put those nicer pickups and the better bridges in, and then last but not least, they finally gave them a neck heel carve. Finally, not
Yeah,
a
I was
great
gonna say
one, but it's a
the,
heel
the heel
carve.
is the same off the Ultra.
Yep,
So, and that's
and these
like
are only
I
$429.
I noticed they're starting to do that a lot more because I think they realize like that heel is just dude, it's a relic is what it is. On these guitars, like honestly, I kind of like the contemporary Stratocaster. I'm not gonna buy one,
No,
but I kind of like the features that it has.
yep,
I might buy one used if I get
yep,
one for like $250 at some point. Um, but here's the deal. So the H Floyd Rose one, yeah, it's a no brainer. They got to do that guitar. I mean,
yeah,
they should do that one. My problem is I don't really know how I feel about this pickup arrangement of the two single coils like that. Um,
yep.
I'm
It's something
assuming
you'd have
that
to,
they're
yeah.
are they in series? Because if they're not in series, this is going to be dumb.
It's going to sound terrible if they're not in series.
It's just going to be dumb. Like I'd have to hear it.
Wow,
I have to imagine it.
that shoreline gold on the Jazz looks really good.
Yeah. So the switching position 1 is bridge and middle, series hum canceling. So 2 is middle, 3 is
Okay.
middle and neck,
Okay.
4 is bridge. 4 is bridge.
What? What is five?
Yeah. Five, 5 is middle and neck.
Oh,
What the
what?
hell?
What? I think they messed up there. I think they
No,
messed up.
no, that's what they said. And you know why? Because the in order to make the 1 and 2 series in position 1, you probably have to wire the switch funny in order to make that happen. And they figured that that having the position 4 be the bridge sort of makes sense. So it's bridge in the middle and neck. Oh, no. Position 4 is bridge, middle, and neck. It's all 3.
Oh, that makes more sense.
And then 5 is neck. So there's no bridge only position on this guitar.
What? Okay, that kind of makes sense with what they're
I think
doing.
for a lot of players that they would dig that.
Yep.
I take away my bridge position, I'm gonna be mad. I'm just gonna be real. I'm just gonna be real with you. But if it really does sound like a good humbucker in the bridge,
Yeah.
like this might be a thing. Here's the problem with this guitar though. It's not a Lego block. What are you gonna do if you have to replace pickups? You
Yeah.
can't get two that work in series.
Nope.
You'd have to buy like individual pickups and hope that they, like Nick could make you sad. All right.
Yeah.
He understands the science behind this.
Well,
Um,
they're going to be swimming pool route. Come on. So
Yeah,
if you
they're of
really
course
wanted to, you could throw the whole thing out. I think this is made for the. I think this is targeting more modern players, younger people who want to do more
it's.
with their. And I think there's nothing wrong with it.
I'm actually looking forward to checking this guitar out.
Yeah,
I
I
think I think these are gonna be cool,
I do
but
too.
I don't want black. If I was gonna do it, it'd be Skyburst
No,
metallic
it would be the
probably,
blue. Yeah.
and then even then on the god damn it, their site misload more button sucks.
Why couldn't they?
Um,
I know they're returned. That's why I've been opening new tabs each time. I
what's the
think
difference
that
between the HD and the regular?
their color schemes, their color decisions are so stupid. The Jazz, Jaguar. I'm sorry, Jaguar. The Jaguar got the coolest color with the gold.
Yeah, it's ugly.
I
I mean
like it.
the green one.
The
The
green
gold is
is
okay,
ugly. The gold is good.
but give me this with roasted maple, please. Like Indian Laurel. I don't want an Indian Laurel fretboard. Nobody wants that. I
No.
mean,
Oh, they went
just
to
do
the
it.
Indian Laurel on there. Yeah. I mean, yeah. Give me
Well, it's 'cause they can't do rosewood out of Squire. I mean, that's basically what it is.
correct. But the only option you have is the Indian Laurel for the fretboard, which is kind of sucky. At least
I'm
for
just
that
happy to see
guitar.
that
But
they're
you know, if I
embracing.
was going to buy a Jaguar, this would be one of the ones that I would look at. Definitely.
I'm happy that they're embracing baked maple. Listen,
Yeah.
Fender, this is the best thing you've done in a long time. Is for you to understand that you need to adopt a more modern design aesthetic. Like, unfortunately, you can only sell guitars from the 50s and 60s for so long. And then we've been breaking Gibson over the coals for this for a while because they can't seem to do anything new. But
Yep.
this, I mean, they're basically admitting, like, we know that at some point we're gonna have to do baked maple.
Yep.
Um Gibson, I think, is gonna get to a point where they actually do have to reinvent. I think they're trying to right now they're stop the burn. Like control the burn. And then at some point, we're going to start to see Gibson do new things. I think Gibson buying Mesa Boogie is evidence of them about to flip the script. But
Yeah.
I'm hoping. I mean, I'm hoping. Um,
So let's talk about pedals. Because really, there's no other guitars that are exciting, to be honest with you. I couldn't
yeah.
find any other guitars that were
Nothing
exciting. I
has been
mean,
announced yet. It was technically not till this week.
yeah. And
They're
to be honest, ESP put some announcements out. Ibanez new colors, yippee. Um,
no, it's actually had a big year. 7-string AZs.
oh, that's the one. Wait, the seven string, not only seven string AZs, seven string Randy Rhodes and seven string King V's with Floyd Rose, which that targets that audience perfectly.
Yeah.
Perfectly.
Yeah, so that's a slam dunk for those guys. But Ibanez actually, so they have the AZS, which that's
Yep.
a new thing. And then of course, this is the one that was wild to me. They have a Josh Smith signature Telecaster coming out. What the fuck? Like, I saw that and I was like, huh? Wait, what?
Yep.
It's still, I'm honestly seeing the picture of it here. I'm still like, wait, what? I completely forgot about it until I saw the picture. I was like, I repressed it, I guess. It just
Now,
doesn't seem to make sense to me.
what's funny is Sweetwater boo booed. So if you go to the Jackson X Series King, just look up KVX MG7, KVX-MG7. Tell me what's wrong with the third picture of that guitar. There's 1, 2, 3 because you can't buy them yet.
Which one am I looking for?
KVX, that's King Victor X-Ray, dash MGX, or MG7,
KVX.
sorry. KVX MG7.
Is it their hyphen?
Yep, hyphen in between.
And that's an Ibanez, right?
Jackson.
Oh, well, I'm on the wrong damn site.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm on Sweetwater, so I'm looking at all of them.
Yeah, and then okay. Yeah, no, that like this makes sense to me.
Look at the
This is
third.
like,
Oh, that makes perfect sense. This is a great guitar. This is a slam dunk for Jackson. But look
Yeah,
look at the third picture, the picture of the back of the guitar. What's wrong with that?
hang on.
Compare it to the middle picture. Just flip between the two.
What is going on here?
It's the wrong guitar. They put a picture. They put a picture
Oh,
of the Randy Rhodes.
yeah, I'm looking at Jackson's site. You're looking at Sweetwater because I want to see straight from the manufacturer when we talk about this stuff.
Yeah, Sweetwater.
12 to 16 inch compound radius. That's nice.
Yep.
24 frets. It's CMGs. I mean, take it, leave it. I guess that fits the metal market, right? It would have been better if they'd used Fishman's, but whatever. Yeah. Fishman Modern's the thing. But is this literally the first 7-string King V? I think it is.
Yep.
And the street price on this is $900.
$900.
For $900.
That's a great guitar. It's a
music.
Yep. For people looking for a 7-string V, this is it right here, man. This one and the Randy Rhodes one that they came up with. So they released a Randy Rhodes version of this. Let me go back. And the RRX24 MG7. And this thing's smoking hot. It's in the same color scheme, so you really don't get any change there. But same thing, $900. You get the Floyd Rose, Prodigious Sustain. Don't
you want a Jiva Junior?
No, I would not pay for a Jiva Junior. They can't sell the Jivas they've got. The initial run of Jivas didn't sell. I'm sorry. I was kind of excited about it until I played one.
They're nothing special, really.
Yeah,
I'll be honest with you. I'm looking through this Josh Smith signature, and I'm like, yeah, I can get down with this. It's a Telecaster version of an AZ, basically.
Is this with who? With Ibanez?
Ibanez. Which I'm like, what the hell? Why did Josh Smith go to Ibanez? This seems nuts to me. It just seems like so unorthodox. But I guess like all the other great players are going over to AZs. I mean, the guys that are like in his generation. So it sort of makes sense. It is it's the flat 5-1, so flat V1.
Yep.
And it is a roasted maple Ibanez Telecaster. And by the way, if you look at the model pictures, that's clearly not a real picture. You look at the neck, and it's still being mocked up. This guitar is probably not available yet, but it will be, and it's gonna sell probably pretty well. But this just seems like it's a really weird place for him to wind up.
Who'd you say it was? Josh who?
Josh Smith.
Smith. I put Josh Scott for some reason.
Oh no. It's got the luminlay side dots. And then, of course, all of the 7-string AZs, which is, that's legit. I gotta admit, like, Ibanez picked up a great artist. I mean, I'm really shocked that he went over there, but I'm not mad. I'm still kind of like, what the hell does this mean?
I know.
Look at this.
For a minute, I wasn't sure who Josh Smith was. Then when I saw him, I was like, oh, yeah, I know who Josh Smith is. You're like, yeah, he's the flat 5 guy.
This doesn't make sense.
True 5. This does not make sense. This is like when Greg Koch. This says a lot about Fender, because this is like when Greg Koch didn't go to Fender. Fender is turning their backs on the YouTubers.
Long-term relationship with them. I couldn't believe that happened, by the way, and I don't think we talked about that on the show when he went to Reverend, but like, he's got, almost 20 years of working with Fender. He supported them through the Cyber Twin. That was like his baby. And then when it came time for him to like start looking for signature gear, he went to Koch Amplification and he went to freaking Reverend for a signature guitar, which just seems absolutely bonkers to me.
It's asinine.
And this is kind of the same thing. Like, this should have been a slam dunk. Somebody told me that Josh Smith was getting a signature guitar, and I went, I'm waiting for the Fender announcement.
Yep. And this is coming out of Japan. This thing should be hot.
It's an Ibanez, man. Oh, it's gonna be a great guitar, I'm sure.
That's what I'm saying.
25 and
It's
a
gonna
half
be
inch
hot.
neck. I'm looking for the I want to see the radius. So 250 millimeter radius. What is that? 250 millimeters in inches.
Uh,
That is close to a 10-inch.
yep.
So this is like borderline.
Oh, that's
Like,
that's a 10-inch radius. You could call that. They might call that 9 3/4. They might
well,
call
that's
it
what I'm
10.
saying. It's like a 10-inch radius, but like that's borderline PRS.
Yep.
Which makes me wonder if like he wasn't talking to PRS at the same time. You know, we watched Mark Letary go over to PRS too, and he should have been a slam dunk Fender guy as well.
I was like, I said Flat 5 because that's his company, Flat 5. And then I looked at it, was like, oh, it's the Flat 5-1. At first I was like, why is it called a Flat 6? Oh, it's a Flat 5-1. That's cool. That's cool. He got to name it, I'm sure.
Yeah.
And
Which
check out that control. I like the smiley face curve of the control because it makes more sense.
It you know, and he's a big telly guy.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to seeing him actually play this alongside his other guitars because Ibanez won't make him play just this. Like that's something Ibanez has been pretty clear about with other artists.
Yep.
But this is a good move, man. Like
Yeah.
I'm actually pretty excited about this guitar.
I didn't even catch this one. Didn't even catch my eye when I was looking at Ibanez's earlier today. So that's cool.
Yeah, but I mean, like, as an alternative to a telly, like,
yeah. This will be hard. It'll be either the Chrissy Hynde telly or this thing.
on that. Well, I mean that, and like quality level is going to be the same with both of those. Probably, actually, maybe even the Ibanez might be better because it's going to be
better.
prestige.
Yeah. Yep.
Prestige. That's going to be a $2,000 guitar at least.
Yep.
Uh,
Yeah, I'm thinking it'll be close to $2,000. So,
but I didn't see a whole lot of other releases that came out of them over this week. I mean, like I've been waiting for the headless. Like, where is it, guys? Because it's coming.
They made an announcement for a new what's his name? Paul Gilbert. They made the Iceman in purple.
Right. Which is a guitar he's been slinging anyway.
Yep.
But the difference between this and the other ones that he's had, this has got the 70s mini humbuckers, like the Gibson humbuckers from the 70s, which is kind of like a nice change for him because he's been playing the mini humbuckers anyway for a while. And he was playing before that. He was playing DiMarzio injectors at one point, and then he had like regular full-size humbuckers in his guitars. So this is kind of more sort of like the middle of the road approach.
I like this one.
His current record. So if you didn't pre-order his current record, because it's not, I don't think it's actually come out yet. I got it on pre-order. When it comes out, it's really good. I would recommend everybody who's listening check it out.
Yep.
So you can probably
in the pedal world, I mean, obviously, like you said, it's a little early, but something that's exciting. I didn't realize that this was in conjunction with JHS. Is Way Huge has announced a pedal called now you'll know where this came from. Atreides. Now Atreides is the family name of the guy that was the star of Dune, right? The movie Dune.
Yeah.
So Atreides is supposed to be this reference to a bunch of sound effects that were from Dune.
It's the sonic weapon in Dune that they speak.
That's it.
And his name is a word. It's a whole thing.
And so the sonic weapon, that's exactly right. So
the voice in the weirding way, and it's called the weirding module in the movie.
Yep. And guess what this thing is called? The analog weirding module. The Atreides analog weirding module.
God damn it.
At first I thought, okay, it's gonna be because it's a synthesizer. I'm like, oh well. John Scott did some demos of it, because it's a Way Huge pedal, but guess who's building it? JHS. So it's being built by JHS.
I think this thing is sold out everywhere already.
It already is. It's pre-order. You're not going to get your hands on one in a while. But here's the beauty of this. This guy, Josh Scott, showed a little bit of this. This is a fuzz on steroids. This thing is incredible. This takes a fuzz and a little bit of an auto-Y in some cases. Depends. What's that?
To save money. What the hell?
This thing is.
I want this. I want this bad.
Yeah, it's designed by George Trips. And then he contacted Josh Scott and said, "Can you build this for me? Here's the schems and schematics." And we used to call them plates in the Navy. But anyway, yeah, yep, there it is. So guess what? This is gonna be cool. I thought it was gonna suck until I heard Josh Scott play through it. And Josh Scott, no offense to Josh Scott, he's not a great player. He's a good player. He's just not great. And yet this thing, it rocked. And then the guy, the smaller guy that normally plays the drums, got on the guitar and played a little solo thing on, and they had the bass player play um, like a
Was
Beatles
it
come together thing, and it was
total music from Dune?
yeah, yeah, and it was really cool. They pulled it off. It was really cool, and Josh sat on the drums to do that song. It was pretty
Do
cool.
you know how hard it is for me not right now to not go to YouTube and watch this video?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
am
Watch
really
it after we're
excited about
done.
it.
I'm
Yeah,
serious.
I'm definitely going to.
Yeah,
That
it's
I'm
not
gonna
a
watch.
long one, and it's really good. It's really good, and
I go coming into this video or this episode tonight and thinking I'm just going to be pissed about everything coming out of NAM this year, or out of the pseudo NAM this year, and I'm sitting here going, "Damn, man! Like, there's some good stuff. It's kind of kitschy, and
yep.
they're going hard for people's money right now. They want them
Um,
stimulus.
yeah, I was gonna say that stimulus check would be gone in a minute.
Yeah,
Um, the Ibanez came out with two new pedals. I guess they think we need a phaser and I can't remember what the other one is in mini form. Oh, a boost pedal. Not even a TS 909 or an 808. It is, yeah, here's a boost pedal and here's a phaser, and they're not even like, you know, models of really good ones in a miniature form. So I wasn't really excited about that. Dunlop did announce a new bass wah pedal, um, which is a little bit exciting.
isn't
What's
it
that?
the mini one? The mini one.
Nope. It's
Oh,
the badass custom badass crybaby wah, and this thing is 199.95. It is not cheap. Chrome. Uh, it's got some nice accoutrement.
it's their custom shop line of pedals. So
You know.
all the parts are going to be and the custom shop over there is basically run by George Trips anyway. So
Yep,
this is George Trips pulling out all the stops, putting it in the Dunlop name, and selling a great wah. That's
that's right.
basically what it is.
Yep, he had JHS do one thing and um,
Yes.
now here's the other one that I thought this is the other thing I found that was kind of cool. So um, Joe Bonamassa has teamed up with Seymour Duncan for a set of pickups called the 55.
Yeah, I
Um,
saw them. They're really expensive.
it's $550 for a preloaded pick guard.
I'll save you some money. Just go to Nick Bonger's and get at Great Lakes Guitar Pickups and have him make you a set.
Um, and I was I was interested enough to go to Joe Bonamassa's site and check them out. You can get them separately for $355, $20 more dollars, and they age them for you.
Oh my God.
Yeah, aged pickups. I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get the age thing as it is. Age it yourself. Play it. Play it.
Well, the magnets
But
change over time, and I don't know how you can artificially emulate that.
no, all they're doing is aging the white. They want the white to look
Actually,
aged.
you know what it means? It means the fucking magnets get weak.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
all it means.
yeah. Over time, that's what happens with a magnet. It weakens. Even if you don't do anything with it, it will weaken over time because you've removed it from the earth. So anyway, the plus these are synthetic magnets, right? So, but anyway, pre-wired single coil pickguard passive Alnico 4 set. So that was the other thing that kind of came up. Let me see. I've got some notes I took. Oh, so Slash obviously released a picture. I think too early because I don't think Gibson was ready to talk about it. and that's the Epiphone slash models. I think they're going to
Yeah.
sell well. I think they're going to do well. What I would do if I bought one, which if the right one comes along, I would, is I would buy an Appetized Burst, and then I would go to Nick Bonger's and have him make me a set of pickups because I haven't met a set of Epiphone pickups I like yet. I don't care how
Well,
many
you know what's
times they brag about them.
funny?
I haven't found them.
Like, this is nothing new. He's had models with Epiphone before.
Yep.
These are just new Epiphone models for him. And I mean, I'm glad that they have different colors. At least they're figuring that part out. Is that
Yep.
people don't want to buy the same damn colors. I'm sorry, but if you're doing Les Paul standards, the 3 colors should not be burst. Like, you should have a burst, and then you should have a red, and you should have a blue. It's like, what the hell is that?
Are you talking about the ones that
Burst.
Slash did?
No, I'm talking about the fact that in the Les Paul lineup for the standards right now, in the current like mainline lineup, they're only doing burst models. They have 3 models. Oh, they do the gold top.
Yes.
Like, come on, guys. I mean, this is not that's totally self-serving people that can't afford, to get a real one. And like, I just feel like they need to offer at least one other color. And black is not a color, okay? So let's just nip that in the bud right now.
Right.
So if you want to offer black as an option, that's fine. But geez, give us like red or green or something. So that's why I'm kind of like, at least in the Epiphone lineup for the Slash models, there's going to be a green and a red, and I mean, they may be bursts, but they at least are different than a lemon burst or a no burst. Like they're not even different bursts. They're just different shapes.
Yeah. The thing is that Gibson had to leave room for the exclusives for stores. Number one, and number two, that's always a thing. And number two, when it came to those models, they said that they were stripping it down.
Yeah, well, they stripped it down in the wrong way.
And they went to I don't know. The gold top came. You can only get P90s in gold top. That's it. Then they did the 50s come in the Heritage Cherry, tobacco, and gold top. That's it. And then the 60s come in the unburst. I think it's 2 colors, right? The unburst and the T-burst. Is that what it is?
Yeah.
And that's it. I mean,
yeah.
I think because that way they're like, you know what? If you want the more interesting colors, you're going to go to the exclusives, and you're going to go to these Slash models. You'll pay $500 more, get Slash pickups, and get Slash colors. And now they're saying,
so therein lies the problem. I don't want a Slash model, right? I want a Les Paul standard.
Yep.
And the other problem is the exclusives. I haven't seen any of them.
Me either.
Like,
I don't seen a single exclusive. I don't know if they've done an exclusive. And
that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't think that ever panned out if that was their plan.
Yeah. If it was, it didn't work out. But that said, these Epiphones, I've got them up on my screen right now for everybody to see. The Epiphones are definitely, it's on his Instagram. If you go to Slash's Instagram or just Google Slash's Instagram.
Yeah.
Yeah. Definitely interesting colors. You got a gold top. You've got that one on the left is supposed to look like the same color as mine. So the lighting must suck in that room where he took the shot, or it's way too orange and that's going to be an ugly color.
No, you can tell the room's lighting is terrible. It's atrocious.
The red one, I think, is the The green one's the Anaconda Burst. I can't remember what they call the red one. The Appetite Burst is the one on the left. The gold top is a gold top, and then they've got a
right. I think November Burst is the red one. And,
that's it. You are right. November Rain.
Yeah.
Yep. I like them.
Is green.
I would probably get the one on the right, or the gold top, and then I get some Nick Bonger's pickups in there.
I need to have some headstock surgery, I think.
Unless they really did something exciting with the Slash pickups in an Epiphone version. but we'll see.
I would say the likelihood of me getting a PRS is higher than this.
Yeah. Well, the Chrissy Hind one is at the top of my list right now, so we'll see. We'll see
Yeah,
because
I mean,
I did have the Nita Strauss was on the top of my list a couple of years ago, and
I told you that Jiva was not all it was cracked up to be. I mean, I played when I was like, it's pure, or it's an Ibanez. It's typical Ibanez.
so what
Um,
our friends at Kaiser did, going to the here's some dumb things nobody asked for. So Kaiser thought it would be a good idea to come up with new colors for. Let me put this up on the screen because these are the new ones for 2021, and they came up with uh, the let's see, the neon pink, neon orange, neon green, and neon yellow. Thank you, Kaiser, for doing absolutely nothing new to your pickups. I mean, your capos, except making them another color, and then forcing every dealer to probably have to have a certain number of them in their stores, and then making them
yeah,
take up space on their display thing. Do you
I
have the?
don't,
It's just dumb.
I,
Do you, do
and
you see how many
never,
colors there are
yeah, it's ridiculous.
of the exact same one?
It's
There
however
are
many colors the factory that makes stuff for Wish has available to paint these.
18. 18
Yeah,
of them. All of them are 1995, and all of them are quick change capos with the
you can just
same.
buy direct. You can get it engraved,
Yeah, that's what I'm doing.
dude. What's the other company that makes the capos that have like the bling on them? There's another company that makes
Thalia?
capos that are like dollars or something a piece.
Is it
That
Thalia?
were maybe it could be Thalia.
Thalia makes
Um,
expensive capos that
it's like it's a capo, guys. Like what the hell?
I know. Thalia capos are like $50.
Some of them are crazy expensive. But I've seen there's another company that makes them that are like $150 to $200 a piece. I'm like, who buys this crap? It's like it's diamond studded and shit. And you're like, this is ridiculous.
It
Nobody's
is
gonna buy this.
ridiculous.
It's a capo. You lose them at gigs. That's what they're there for.
Yep.
Notice I did not say use them at gigs. You lose them at gigs. Um,
There's always that one song I need a capo for.
I don't believe in capos.
$85 for the blinged out. Let me put this up on the screen. $85 for the blinged out version of it's a blue anaconda or blue anaconda, yeah, blue abalone
Yeah,
and
I'm looking at it.
dove.
It's only $75 over at Thalia.com.
I'm at day.com.
Off
Go away. Go away.
ThaliaCapos.com. Blue abalone is $75 plus
Yep.
shipping.
Oh, this one says
Ooh, and
85.
a gift box with a microfiber bag. I wonder what's different between yours versus mine.
You got
You just
Thalia,
read out it was
you're at
Charge-
thaliacapos.com
Yeah,
and you're seeing blue abalone for 75?
abalone, $75.
Mine says 85.
The fact that you have financing for capos,
I know. When you have to have financing for capo, your capos are too effing expensive. The Purple Heart is sold out. The African Wing is on there. That one's 65. They've got phone cases. This
you
is
got a 24 karat gold one too. 24 karat gold with blue abalone.
yeah, I saw that one. So there's
Gibson
a
engraved front covers from them. Thalia makes some dumb stuff.
yeah,
Rosewood capo. Yeah, it's great. Can't buy used
24
rosewood. Buy your capo.
24 karat gold. Yeah, what I want to do is I want to put 24 karat gold on something that will fall off my guitar. Somebody could easily steal.
So they could just, yeah, like oh my god.
Who thought this was a good idea?
There's no gold in that at all anyway. Thalia. I hardly knew ye.
Oh, Thalia, I hardly knew ye. Yeah, we had some in the store when I was still working there. Remember when we worked at Guitar Center? That was a long time ago.
That was
a couple weeks.
that was a thing. Happened one time.
That one time at boot camp. But yeah, so that's pretty much the show.
Yeah, I mean, there's going to be more NAMM stuff probably next week, so we'll because I know that some people like chose to do their launches later, and they're talking about various companies. I think we've seen most of the stuff though.
Reverend's
Boss
been doing
hasn't,
some. What's
so
that?
Boss hasn't done anything yet. I don't
Nope,
think
Boss hasn't done anything.
they
Reverend
will.
has given Ken Haas has been out there leaking pictures from the side of certain guitars. They look exciting. Reverend puts out some cool stuff. So
I
that's
think right now,
exciting.
if you're in the market for an import guitar, I think Reverend's the place to start.
Yeah,
Actually,
yeah. Ken Haas, good guy. And obviously, uh, it's not everybody's bag, but I think that Greg Cox's guitar is cool looking, um, and a great tele alternative. That's why this um, uh, Josh Smith guitar is also a cool tele alternative to people who don't
shit,
want to. What's that?
it's exciting as shit to see that like some of the stuff that's going on right now. There's a lot of moves going on with artists, and I'm
Yep.
the first person to tell you like I don't give a crap about who's artist who's got who's artist, but like it's interesting to watch this because we started this podcast and most of the artists were on Fender and Gibson,
That's right.
and like, now like people are just abandoning ship and they're going to other places, and these other companies that we thought were sort of down on their luck or like Ibanez. I knew the AZs were big, but I never thought that they would be like another brand that I would be looking at and going, yeah, you guys are moving and shaking right now.
Well,
And they really
so we know that Ibanez has always had a great lineup with artists, and they have an excellent artist relations.
yes,
Um,
they do.
Gibson was losing people, and they're gaining people. The one that's losing people that they should get, losing them before they even get them,
Anyone
is
is
Fender.
Fender. It's like, how the hell is this happening?
Yep.
Um,
The Chrissy Hind and the Jason Isabel are the only two. Look at Fiore should have been a Fender. It's a
right?
PRS. Mayer should have been a Fender.
Years ago.
Yeah.
Um, and that's because he has good business sense.
Yeah.
Um, I really, I mean, I don't think anything's going to happen to Fender. I think they should. I honestly, if I were them, I'd be pulling their plug on their artist relations department. Meaning, I
Oh.
would be looking at personnel changes because
Oh
it
yeah.
really sounds like there's something wrong there. And I can't imagine that's doing them any favors. But maybe they're looking at it and they're going, "We're making so much money on the lifestyle side. It's
They
not
don't
worth even
care.
messing."
Yeah. They don't
Yeah,
care. They're gonna find out. They're gonna have to care, but they don't care.
that apathy is what created the situation that's going on over at Gibson right now. Was that there was a long period of apathy, and then all of a sudden Jusko gets a fire under his ass to fix the company, and he's like, "What?" Mostly because the investors are like calling for his head, and he makes the Firebird X. Like, what the hell?
Well,
Um,
there's one available in the Gibson marketplace or the Gibson forum right now. If you got a guitar to trade, he'll take it.
I'm sure there's one still sitting down there at Villa Park Guitar Center here in
Probably.
Illinois right
If they
now
haven't
because
burned
it's
it
been
for heat.
I'm sure it's still there now.
If they haven't burned it for heat, for
Yeah, I
firewood.
mean, might be better off. Like maybe they need to destroy it. Maybe that's what's caused this coronavirus thing. Like we didn't destroy all the Firebird X's, so the curse is still on us, and that's why it's so bad right now.
I'll tell you that's a possibility. So what am I most excited about this year personally? The Way Huge pedal I was not excited about till I saw Josh Scott's video. I am excited about that. I am excited about the Chrissy Hind. I've said that several times tonight. But I do want to check out that Josh Smith now that I've seen that. Um, and only because I like the way that they changed that access to the controls. I've always felt that tele controls are kind of clunky, always. So,
Telecaster, big maple neck. Uh, Looked like it had comfort contours. I think
yep, yep.
it it checks a lot of the right boxes,
It checks a
and
lot
it's
of
got
boxes.
one of the best tele players there is right now.
Oh God,
Back
if
that guy,
folks, if you haven't listened to, yeah, if you haven't listened to Josh Smith, check out Flat Five. Check out his. He does a weekly thing where he does a lesson, and this.
yeah, I watch.
Well, I'm talking to the people that are listening to us.
Oh yeah, yeah.
This is He's the kind of guy, folks. If you haven't checked him out, and you like any kind of music, he is just a top-notch player, and his interviews are always exciting and interesting.
Yeah,
Um,
I dig his interview podcast stuff just as well as I do him sitting in front of the camera showing things.
yep.
And honestly, not even for that, like he's an incredible musician anyway. Go get his records. Like what the
Oh
hell?
yeah.
Inception. His record
Oh yeah.
Inception. Repeat on my phone since I started listening to it like 3 weeks ago. And it's I mean that's an old record. It's been around for
Yeah, that's
10
one of
years or
his.
so.
Yeah, that's one of his early ones.
He flew under the radar for me. I had no idea, and then he snuck up on me.
Yep.
And I was like, I was listening to some stuff, and I was like, oh my god, who is that?
He
And I
literally.
just started listening more, and I was like, god damn, like this guy's really, really good. Why haven't I heard more?
He snuck up on me about a year ago, and I don't know why I'd never heard him because I'm fans of just about everybody he's worked with. You know,
Yeah,
Scott Henderson and Larry Carlton and those guys, and it's like,
he had
huh,
a big session career. He
yeah,
actually started off. He's had a big session career. He's a well respected blues player. Um,
yeah,
he's friends with Mike Landau. I mean,
yep,
um, and all these different cats in the LA scene. He comes from Florida. He's been playing since he's 12
yeah,
years old. I think his best friend is Joe Bonamassa. I mean, Bonamassa gave him a 59 Les Paul and said, here, take it out on the road.
yeah.
And of course,
He and Bonamassa are kind of the same age and kind of came up through the same,
right,
even though they lived on separate ends of the continent, or I mean of the
it's some story about Danny Gatton where they were talking about they both knew him.
yeah.
Like that's a thing. And they were like 12 years old when Danny Gatton was alive, you
They
know?
were on, yeah, they
Uh,
were on each other's podcasts. Scott was on Nerdville, and um, uh, Bonamassa went on to the Flat Five. But the interesting thing about the stories that they tell is how, even though one lived in Florida and one lived in New York, because Bonamassa lived in Ithaca or Rochester area, one of those two. Yeah, because um, and what do you call it? Lived in Gainesville, right, or somewhere around there. So it's interesting how they both go, and now they both have a place in Nashville. So that's
yeah,
fun.
I was gonna say they didn't actually both know Gatton. Bonamassa did. Bonamassa
Right.
took lessons with.
Yeah.
Um, but what is interesting is like those three guys, like him, Greg Koch,
Yep.
and Bonamassa are really the three dudes right now that, as far as I'm concerned, those are the three best guitar players there are right now.
They are the
You
current
watch,
three kings.
yeah, I mean, I know people are gonna poo-poo that and they're gonna say, well, you know, guy X or whatever, but you have to understand this is the current generation of people.
Yeah.
Like these are the guys that are just now Bonamassa maybe is like prior generation, but like Josh Smith and Greg Koch, if you talk about these guys 10 years ago, nobody knew who the hell they were. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like this is this generation's music in the sense that like I guess my generation of guitar players, we're in our 30s now, we're kind of the boomers that were boomers when I was younger and I was looking at, you know, what are all these people listening to? And it
Yep.
kind of like scratched my head, like I don't understand the obsession with Stevie Ray Vaughan as much as they have because there's these other dudes that I know about. But and that's kind of like it's I'm looking at it from that perspective is these are the popular dudes right now.
Yeah.
I can't imagine Greg Koch because Greg Koch's probably 20 years older than both of them. You
I
know,
think Greg is within a year of me, if I'm not mistaken.
he's an older dude, but he has the respect of his peers. And I mean, like I've seen him jamming with actually both of those guys in different settings. So I just so I said like
Yeah, he's
they
younger
are
than me.
three players that I would say are very important to me. Maybe I'm over asserting myself here, but I honestly think they're three of the top players that there are right now. And then of course there's Tosin Abasi and these other guys that are pushing the envelope. But like I look at what those dudes are doing is very tasty and it's super blues oriented.
He is 2 years and 1 month younger than I am, Greg Koch. So let's
Yeah,
not
don't
make him
look at
too old.
Josh Smith's age.
Let me look up Josh Smith. May as well.
He's older than you think he is.
He's in his. I know he's got to be in his 40s because of some of the stuff he's talked about. Um,
41.
what's that?
He's only 41.
Yeah.
Um, which means that I haven't been doing enough with my guitar playing. I need to catch up. My
And
wife
bottom
come in.
out
She
to
came in. And I was talking about how good Josh Smith is, and she came in. She goes, "You could be that good." I looked at her. I was like, first off, screw you for thinking I'm not that good. Second off, thank you for telling me the truth. Third off, I can. Like,
can. I know you can. I've heard your
it's just
playing.
like how do I approach this problem? Like I have to solve for X. Like
Yeah. Well,
what do I do here?
it's just these guys live and breathe it. I mean, you know, um,
Well, if I had the ability right now, and I told my wife, I said he even admits the reason he's so good is because he went to California and he knew he was good enough to get some small time work while he was there. Like
yep,
when he went, wife and he said I knew I could do that. And then he got in with the good players. He says, as soon as I started playing with people that were better than me, I
yeah.
got even better. And
That's
and
exactly right.
that has to happen. So
You
like
have
I'm
got
sitting
to
here,
stop hanging out with losers like me and start finding great players. I'm serious. You've got to hang out with I mean, Badio lives right there. Once this
yeah,
COVID thing is done, you need to say, hey, you know what? Or actually, you're not far from Cock.
yeah, I know. I was
He's
thinking
up
about
in
doing some cock
Milwaukee.
lessons while he's on hiatus, just to introduce myself and play with him and stuff.
Yeah,
Um,
I would take it. And Tim Pierce gives lessons. You could take a couple lessons from Tim Pierce.
I would
That's
like
something
what
to
I
do.
would like, Jim. What I
I
would
actually
like to
think
do.
and this is not a knock on Tim Pierce, guys. Please don't take this the wrong way. I think you already know anything that Tim Pierce could teach you as far as the playing goes. It's how to apply it that Tim would give
Yeah,
you.
well,
There's no technique that Tim
this
Pierce
is
is
why
going
I'm.
to show you.
I'll freely admit this. We were talking about Josh Smith the other day because I was talking about True Fire. Because I'm like, I'd like to learn how to play through changes, but
Right.
I'm not the traditional guy that like wants to learn it in the jazz sense. I want to be able to do it with like blues and other forms of music. And I'm looking at players who can do that. Like
Yeah.
Josh Smith is a guy
Josh Smith does.
where, and then this is what's great about him, and this is what I wanted to kind of bring it full circle here. The reason why I'm attracted to his playing is because when he plays, he doesn't have to play the damn chords.
Nope.
Like he'll play some riff thing, and you know what the chords
That's
are,
exactly right. Yep.
but he's just so good at outlining it that you don't even like question it.
Yeah,
It's
you don't
just
even
you
realize it.
forget, just listen to a 10-minute guitar solo of him playing the chords.
Yep.
Um, and that's kind of where I want to go. So I was actually going to do the True Fire lessons for him and see
Yep.
what I can get out of that.
Yeah.
And then I was going to go to Gregory Cockery
Yeah.
and I was going to see what he can show me. Because he's a technique guy, like kind of like me, where we just like to do freakish shit that you shouldn't be able to do on the instrument. Um,
Yep.
and I think I will be able to relate to that a lot more, and maybe get some stuff out of that. But I'm actively like I'm thinking. So I'm 36 years old. Um, this will be my final thing before we end this podcast. So if people want to sound off in the group and share your thoughts with this on me, I'm 36 years old. I'm too old now to get into like heavy metal type stuff, in my opinion, and do that for the rest of my life. And I'm kind of setting myself up for like what player am I going to be? Like, so I'm
Yep.
still kind of like gravitating towards roots rock and roll and like hard rock. I'm sort of over the hard rock like Guns N' Roses and stuff like that. And I can do that stuff already, so that's not terribly crazy to me. But I'm getting to the point where it's like what excites me most right now is sort of like this new blues fusion thing, which is not really so much the jazz oriented side, but like taking elements of blues and applying it to other kinds of music. And people call it blues rock at one point, but I don't think it's just rock and roll anymore. I mean,
No.
uh, you listen to like a
Still
Josh Smith
rock and
show,
roll to
he's
me.
doing some he's doing something in 7/8, and you're going, what the hell? Like he's playing blues music in 7/8? Like what is this crap? But that's totally kind of where I see myself heading. So I'm just going to start targeting players like that and start learning the stuff and try to build that and look for, quality opportunities for me to do master classes and that kind of thing where I can learn things that aren't basic anymore. where I
Yeah,
can
I'm
get beyond that.
yeah, I'm looking at taking some lessons in the next year. My goal to myself, as I have already said, was this is a year of no gear. This is so that I can spend a year or two saving up some money, putting it aside for something really nice. Um, and that's why I'm doing it. Uh, number one. Number two, so I went to guitar. I got right after I said year of no gear. I got the guitar. You know how they send you like a $20 gift card or something. So they sent me a
Yeah,
$20 gift card. I'm like, I'm not buying gear. I even said I wasn't buying
fuck you
strings.
guys.
So I didn't. I went to Guitar Center. I bought this hat. So there you go. There's my $20 hat that actually cost me $4.99 because it was 25 bucks. Um, and I got
You
my
bought a gift. You bought a Mason Boogie hat.
I bought a Mesa Boogie hat. It's right here. There's my Mesa Boogie hat, and it's gold. So it's now I'm a gold top. Get it?
Yeah.
So yeah, that was a terrible dad joke, but there it is. That's all I got for you. Um, so the guitar rack is going to be empty because that guitar right there, the Stratocaster, is leaving in a couple of weeks. I got to make whatever videos I want to do with it. The red Strat that's
I
behind
was gonna
you.
say the red one, not the
Yeah,
Ultra.
not the Ultra. The red one is going because that's my son's. So there will be a hole there. I'm not gonna fill it. So the wall will actually get lighter. The acoustic is in the other room. It's in its case. My son just said to me, he goes, "Why don't you want to take it out of the case?" I go, "Well, it's kind of dry and heat's running, but I do have a. You can see the corner of it right there in your screen. That's the
Oh, I'm still having problems finding a case for my acoustic.
yeah.
We can talk after the show.
Yeah, yeah, that's a
Yeah.
tough one. Um, so I am going to get. I'm going to admit freely that I need what is it, Easy Drummer, to do
Yeah.
recording. I'm not calling that drop. I'm not calling that gear because that's a piece of software that I need
Look
to
for
be able to.
look for the next 2 weeks. You're gonna see some tutorials show up from me on how to do drums
Good.
for non-drummers.
So I'm going to buy
Um,
Easy Drummer tomorrow because I've got some stuff with Sweetwater, so I may as well do that. Um, So yeah, I'm not even going to buy cleaners. I have all my cleaners. I have all my rags. I have my strings. I have all my cables. I have all my microphones. There's absolutely no excuse for me to darken Guitar Center,
something
Sweetwater.
breaks.
What's that?
Something breaks.
Yeah, unless something breaks. Knock on wood, it will not. Because I can't
Well, we
afford to have any of these guys
prayed
break.
your interface was gone. I was like, well, there goes your no gear.
Oh my God, I thought yeah, when we started this, I thought either my microphone or my Focusrite was fucked. I was like, oh no, come on, not now. But no, it was just my bit rate on my computer.
Year
But yeah,
ago.
I need to take some lessons. I need to bone up on my stuff. Doing the so let's talk briefly, and I can actually cut this part um,
Into like anything.
into a thing because I want to talk briefly about what we talked about with the new theme song. So the new theme song is coming, folks.